Hello, ghouls and gals. Welcome back to Cafe Crashdown, your haunted hideaway for all things horror, strange, and, well, spine-chilling. I'm Kayla, your host here at the Crash Hub, and I hope you're ready because April is here, and you know what that means? It's officially halfway to Halloween. That's right, we are 6 months out from spooky season. And if you're anything like me, it's the perfect excuse to dip back into the darker side of things, cozy up with a good scare, and start building that fall mood early. I mean, let's be real, we kind of live in spooky mode year-round anyway, right? But hey, you know, I will never turn down another reason to celebrate the best holiday on the calendar. And what better way to celebrate than with a fresh lineup from Shudder? This year, they're celebrating 10 years of streaming tear, 10 years of cult classics, hidden gems, indie nightmares, and curated collections for every horror mood. And in honor of this decade of dread, they're dropping all kinds of special treats throughout the year. As an OG subscriber, I've got to say I am proud to have been lurking in their catalog since the beginning. And today I'm sharing my top 5 picks currently on Shudder for April, plus a few extras you'll want to add to your halfway to Halloween watch list. So light a candle, draw the curtains, and let the horrors of April begin. Let's open up with a classic, the haunted house movie that started it all, 13 Ghosts from 1960, directed by the gimmick king himself, William Castle. This one's pure old school horror comfort food. The plot? A broke family inherits a spooky mansion from a dead uncle. But of course, there's a catch. There's always a catch. The house is haunted by 13 restless spirits, each more bizarre and dangerous than the last. What really makes this film fun is Castle's iconic marketing gimmick, Illusiono. In theaters, audiences were given red and blue filters so they could choose whether to see the ghosts or block them out. And while that doesn't translate directly to streaming, the film's campy charm still works today. There's a seance, a secret fortune, a floating head, a murderous ghost cook, and yes, an actual lying ghost. It's weird, whimsical, and loaded with Halloween energy. So why watch it? It's the perfect palate cleanser between darker films, especially if you love vintage horror, and that cozy, candlelit, Saturday night creature feature vibe. If you've only seen the 2001 remake, this is the charming black and white ancestor you never knew that you needed. Next up is one of the best vampire films of all time. Okay, I mean, sure, there's a million of them. There's probably better ones, but this one's just super fun. We've got Fright Night 1985. Charlie Brewster is your average 80s teen, big hair, horror movies, and an overactive imagination. I would say probably most of us who watch horror films. Until one night, he spots something suspicious across the street. His new neighbor dragging a body into the house. Turns out, the guy's a vampire, and nobody believes him. What makes Fright Night so brilliant is that it knows exactly what it is. It's campy and stylish, but also packed with heart. You'll get killer practical effects, an unforgettable synth score, and a pitch-perfect horror host character named Peter Vincent, played by Roddy McDowall. Film is both a love letter to old horror and a totally fresh take on vampire mythology for its time. It's funny without being dumb, scary without being bleak, and Charlie's desperation to be taken seriously gives it this weird emotional anchor you don't expect. So why watch it? Well, whether you're in for the gore, the vampire transformations, or the nostalgic 80s vibes, Fright Night hits every mark. It's one of those movies that reminds you why you love horror so much. Mark your calendars because Frewaka drops April 25th, and it looks like the kind of horror film we've been waiting for. This Irish horror tale is steeped in myth, revenge, and female rage. Ooh, love that. It follows a woman seeking justice against a group who desecrated sacred land, and what unfolds is a collision between modern violence and ancient forces. Early buzz says Frewaka weaves in Irish folklore and indigenous storytelling with powerful themes of reclamation, ancestral grief, and vengeance. It's giving the witch and the Babadook vibes, but with a voice that feels completely on its own. I love seeing horror used as a vehicle for justice and cultural storytelling, and I can't wait to to see how this one lands. Watch for it April 25th, and don't be surprised if it ends up on your best of the year list by October. If you're feeling nostalgic for classic zombie carnage with social commentary, we know Romero's got it, and his Land of the Dead is the bloody buffet you needed. Released in 2005, Land of the Dead often gets overshadowed by its more famous siblings, Night, Dawn, and Day of the Dead, but make no mistake, this one deserves a rewatch. Set in a crumbling future where the last bastion of human civilization hides behind fortified walls. The wealthy live in a luxury tower while everyone else fights to survive in the slums below. But outside the gates, the zombies aren't just walking anymore. They're thinking. Romero uses the undead as stand-ins for revolution, and the message hits just as hard today. The cast is wild. We got Dennis Harper, John Leguizamo, Asia Argento, and the makeup and effects are top-notch. It's gory, bleak, satirical, and totally satisfying. And, for a double feature bonus, if you really want to lean into the Romero vibes this month, Shudder is also streaming Night of the Living Dead, the black and white film that started it all. So why should you watch Land of the Dead? It's freaking smart, it's brutal, and a surprisingly relevant zombie flick that deserves more love. And pairing it with Night make for the perfect old meets new horror movie marathon. All right, let's close things out with something fresh and mysterious. 825 Forest Road, a 2025 indie horror release that's all about slow dread and creepy unease. The story follows a woman returning to her childhood home deep in the woods after her father's death. But the more time she spends in that isolated house, the more she begins to realize the forest hasn't forgotten her. There's something primal about this one. You can feel the trees watching, the house listening, and the land remembering. It leans hard into the folklore playbook. Generational trauma, secrets buried in the soil, and that suffocating sense that nature doesn't forgive. It's minimalist, moody, and filled with that eerie energy that builds and builds until something finally snaps. So why watch it? If you love movies like The Wind, Without Name, or The Dark and The Wicked, this is absolutely for you. Atmospheric horror done just right. And of course, what would a month on Shudder be without The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs? Joe Bob is back this month with another season of gritty double features, horror trivia, and offbeat commentary that's part history lesson, part chaos. Whether you're there for the obscure creature features or just for Darcy the male girl's chaos energy, this is always a fun time. It's comfort horror with a Texas twang, and there's nothing else like it. And don't forget to explore Shudder's featured collections from this month. You've got some halfway to Halloween watchlist to curated picks that celebrate 10 years of streaming screams. There's something for every type of horror lover. And that's it for my top 5 Shudder picks for April. Which ones are you planning to watch? What's creeping onto your halfway to Halloween watchlist? Definitely let me know in the comments below. I always love what's giving you nightmares. And be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss any spooky updates from Cafe Crashdown. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Cafe Crashdown for more horror recs, behind the scenes fun, and witchy weirdness. Halfway to Halloween is here, my friends. Let's celebrate accordingly, all right? Let's stay spooky, stay sinister, and most importantly, let's keep the horror alive.